something that's going to be firing up real soon. In fact, this weekend, Friday and Saturday night at Central Arizona Speedway in Casa Grande, Arizona, is the ASCS-Southwest region. We grabbed series director Jason Wayne Carter and talked to him about the 2023 schedule, some of the drivers to watch, as well as how last year went as he filled in the role as series director for the first time. That is next on Track Talk. Hello, I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. We also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get into the interview. Well, joining me on the phone, it's the series director of the American Sprint Car Series Southwest region, Jason Wayne Carter. Jason, great to be it's been a while since we've talked. Never about sprint car stuff, but it's great to be talking to you again, my friend.
Yeah, I feel like the last time we talked, I said, "Hey Ben, can you get a word with whoever's in the infield?"
Yes, yeah, exactly.
A couple of years back when I was announcing your pit reporting.
Yeah, he's talking about the Superstition Showdown in, let's see, that was Valentine's Day weekend at Arizona Speedway in Queen Creek, which unfortunately is a racetrack that's not with us any longer, but hopefully there'll be something that pops up pretty soon. But yeah, that was and I had to cover you on Saturday because you had a last second deal that you had to take care of.
Yeah, my fiance was in a car wreck, like literally 10 minutes before showtime, so I had to go hoof it back home and make sure she was all good.
Yeah, I remember we were hot lapping and then you just said, "Hey, can you announce?" And I'm like, "Okay, somebody give me a lineup."
Like, here are the lineups. Go for it. You're good.
Yep, exactly.
And then the next night, you got the interview of the week, I think, with Beau Partain. So
yes. Yeah, so what he's talking about is, and I know we're talking about sprint cars, we're supposed to be, but we're a little off topic here. But there was an IMCA stock car race, and Beau Partain and DJ Workmeister, I think, they got into it. I don't remember what happened, but production got in my ear, said, "Ben, go interview Beau Partain, ask him what happened," and he's all fired up and inbred idiot, I think is the term that he used.
Yeah, he's inbred hillbillies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But since then, Arizona Speedway, unfortunately, shuttering the doors. But for you, getting in a new role as a director for a regional sprint car series, how? And last year, I believe, was the first year for you. How has that been? Has that been quite an adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's been an adjustment. I'm leaving the announce booth where I was, not only Arizona Speedway for last 5 years, but also started at Canyon Speedway Park, for 4 years, and even did some NHRA drag racing stuff when I lived in Chicago. So yeah, it was a total different deal for me, and kind of getting thrusted into it the last minute. Last January, and it's like, "Hey, by the way, we have a race in 2 weeks. Do you want this job?" I was like, "Well, I'm not doing much. I do like sprint car racing. So, you know what? Keep me on the racetrack. Let's go for it." And, last year was a little bit rough. Only had one track, really, just because, Roger, who was a former director of the ASCS Southwest Series, already had some dates locked in with Brad Whitfield at Kokopa Speedway. And then trying to get dates, in January and February just wasn't happening with the limited tracks that we had. So, this year, though, I feel a lot better and a lot more confident about the races we got on the schedule and about some of the tracks. We're hitting all the big tracks here in Arizona, which there's not a lot, but the ones that are here, we're going out to all of them. So I'm definitely impressed by that. Just a 1 year turnaround.
Yeah, in fact, Central Arizona Raceway in Casa Grande going to be kind of your guys' home. You have 3 straight shows there, including this Friday and Saturday to bust things wide open.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be awesome. We were supposed to get a start on about a month ago or so, but couldn't quite do it. And that was probably me just being a little bit too eager as a race fan. It's like, all right, let's get to racing, guys. And I kind of remember, like, man, sprint car races in January and February are really kind of hard to pull because a lot of guys, season ends, like, we got to send our motors here, send this here, get this fixed here, get these parts here. And in case you didn't know, there's not a whole lot of parts going around, not just in Arizona, but also the country. So I got a little bit overzealous, I think, in trying to set up a race in February. But, here we are. We've got a lot of great cars that are getting ready to show up this weekend at Central Arizona Raceway, and looking forward to not just our guys. We got Dominic Selzy coming, Austin McCarl, who I think are just like two badasses. So Corey Day is coming out. Nick Parker, always love seeing Nick Parker come out to our shows. Kind of been following his career since he first started out here, and then he kind of went and ran a lot of the big races out in California and across the country. So, always good to catch up with him and chat. It's weird because the announcer side of me is like, hey, let me chat with you, talk about stuff. And now, like, the race director side of me is like, what are you guys doing over there with that engine,
Yeah,
So
exactly. Let me break my tape measure out. Yeah.
And I still have no idea what I'm even looking at when it comes to these cars. So
Sure.
luckily, there's some guys who are willing to help me out, follow along the way. Like, hey, let's check them out. I was like, all right, I don't know what you want to check out, but yeah, we'll get it figured out someday. Like, I'll just read the rule book here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're pumping you. Pumping you for what? So, yeah. No,
probably pump my pockets, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, that transition from being an announcer to where it's like, everybody. I'm not exactly sure what the great analogy I am here, but you're sort of the taskmaster as the series director, making sure everybody's compliant and everything, and where it's a little bit more casual on the announcer thing because you're basically the reporter for them, for their sponsors and their career and their results, and whereas as series director, you're kind of the referee a little bit in a sense.
Yeah, you go from telling the story to being part of the story, right? It's kind of weird. And, like you said, like the taskmaster, there's not a whole lot of taskmasking going on, at least my first year, right? Because, like I said, I had no idea what I was really doing, just kind of thrust it in the role and said, all right, well, here we go. And I just got to make sure lineups are good. And there's still stuff, the last race I screwed up on something because a guy fell out. And, I'm used to not really knowing, hey, we crisscross these guys, we're been going to modified races a lot in the last couple of years. So it's like, oh, yeah, just move it on the line here in the heat race. And no, you got to crisscross them, take time out. It's like, let's hurry the show up, guys, So that's from that, kind of announcer being on that side of the spectrum. But, here it's like, all right, we got to get things right, got to get it proper, got to make sure I don't screw over anybody because, that's the least thing I want to do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And after this weekend, you guys take the rest of the month off, but April 15th, you guys go back to Central Arizona. And looking at the schedule, May 13th, May's, by the way, a pretty busy month for you guys. May 13th, Mojave Valley Raceway. That track, I haven't seen wing sprint cars run at. I think that's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to those two Mojave dates. I was able to, get in touch with those guys and work something out for this year. And a lot of it came from our drivers last year who were like, they went out there for the CRA race. I think last year was the first time they had CRA racing out there, and a lot of guys went up and said, texted me. I had probably about 3 or 4 texts from guys that just went out there to watch the sprint cars. They're like, hey, this place is awesome. See if you can get us a date. And I was like, all right, I'll see. And they will talk to those guys and super pumped, not just, to have those dates, but also that October date is apparently their biggest show in terms of crowd support because it's their Halloween show. So, we have the candy they'll be giving out and all that stuff. So, I already told my guys, like, hey, like, they put us in this one, and they're, like, super happy about this show. So let's make sure we get the cars and everything to go out there and put on a heck of a race for those fans because he's already telling me it's going to be a sellout.
Yeah, and he's talking about October 28th, which will be the third from last as far as races are concerned on the schedule. And Mojave Valley Raceway is not in that Phoenix, Casa Grande area. It's in the Northwest, actually close. It's about an hour and a half away from Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to say that or anything. So, if my wife is wondering why I'm not home on Saturday night, I think we all know me and some of the boys might make the trip up to Vegas, right?
Yeah. Well, just have her listen to this episode on October 29th. So.
Yeah. Hey, I did an interview. You got to listen to
this. Yeah, no doubt. But another racetrack that you guys go to, and it's great to see that they're going to be offering some sprint car racing. It's going to be May 26th and 27th, Show Low Speedway Park.
Yeah, I mean, Show Low, one of those tracks who, I've never been personally. Have not yet seen that track, and it's just another one of those things where Brad took over the deal here, kind of late, and I was like, "Hey, man, let's make sure we get up on here." So we're able to get on the schedule for show. I'm super pumped about it. I hope the weather cooperates, because I know up in that area, sometimes you do have to worry about weather and rain and whatnot. But overall, definitely pumped to go out there for Show. Be out there for the first show too, which is just awesome.
And that's, for people that are unfamiliar with Arizona geography, that's northeast of Phoenix in the mountains, right?
Yeah, that'd be correct, I believe. I'm really not too sure what the geography is on that one. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, especially me being out here, I just, kind of put in Google Maps and let it take me to where it takes me. So, yeah, I honestly do not think I've ever been to Sholo once in my life. So this is definitely going to be a whole new experience for me.
Then you guys take the summer break, September 30th, another return to Central Arizona Raceway, and you guys in there on Veterans Day weekend on the 10th and the 11th for a doubleheader to close things out. Looks like some quality racetracks you're going to, some quality events, and sounds like some quality cars are going to be following along this season.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think the car count and the cars and drivers and all that stuff, quality from not just the teams, but drivers is going to be bar none. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Not just for, this weekend's 2-day show. I mean, our local guys put on a heck of a show each and every week. JT Imperial, Alex Pettis, Stevie Sussex. Don't think he's racing this weekend, but I know he said he's going to be back majority of the season. So it's going to be fun to see, those guys battle it out. Also super pumped to see Jake Hessel. Also, kind of from the Washington area, I believe. And came down to Arizona a few years back. I was like, man, this is where I'm going to make my sprint car home.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, track started shutting down like flies. He's like, oh, well, that might have been a bad idea. But he's going to be driving for, the Bullet Bob Ream Jr. This weekend at least. And I know he's been helping out Bob Rentz on the car and everything. So I'm super pumped to see him race, because I got to call a lot of his races and, became friends with him and his family. So super pumped to see him race this weekend. And, there's times where you also, have to be that director, but you're also watching these guys, and you're just a fan of racing, right? Like, you love watching racing. Sometimes I get lost in it, and then I'm like, oh, hang on, yellow, yellow, yellow. There's a caution, guys.
Sure.
Can't look at this two-car battle. Something else happened over here.
Yeah. No, I mean, we all are at the end of the day. I mean, we're super fans. Well, ultras.
Oh, totally. And, that's, one part of the reasons why I stepped up to the plate when asked to do it, and super happy and, super excited about, this year and seeing where I can take it. I told the guys, like, look, just bear with me. All right. Within the next 4 or 5 years, I think I'm going to have this thing where I want it, to where we not only are doing races in Arizona at every racetrack, but also during the summer, maybe we can go out and do a little tour deal with some of our other regions out there and see what we got.
Yeah, no doubt. I was doing a whole entrance of database information from all the years that ASCS-Southwest region has been around. They used to go to New Mexico sometimes. They'd go to Las Cruces and then El Paso, and I think they might have even went maybe to Verona once. But yeah, they've kind of scurried about at some different places over the years.
Yeah, I told them, hey, Rome's not built in a day, all right? So let's just keep focused on what we're got to focus on. I'm really happy we got 2-day shows. I think 2-day shows is key, not just for us, but a lot of these, local series that are trying to pull race cars. 2-day shows is, by far where it's at. And I've kind of learned that from a couple other guys who, took over the reins of some stuff. So pretty pumped about, getting all those. And obviously, our 1-day shows. Still come out to the 1-day shows, fans. Don't let me discredit anything. So, I'm just super excited about it.
2022, Logan Calderwood getting the championship as the House of Calderwood at the top of the points table, with Tuesday finishing second. Lauren Wofford was third, and a couple drivers you mentioned fourth and fifth in the standings, JT Imperial and Alex Pettis. As far as the racing was concerned last year, like, how would you rate it? I mean, Logan Calderwood, he made a lot of trips to California the last couple years.
Yeah, I mean, Logan and Tuesday are like two young, great racers. It took a while for them to come out of their shell, I guess. Talking wise, it's kind of like weird, but I remember that last points race, it was like, hey, here's what I need to do tonight to win the championship. Like, what do I need to do? And I'm like looking at the points, and, coming from the announcer world, it's like, dude, I have no idea. I'm waiting for somebody else to tell me this.
Sure.
So, but no, I mean, like I said, look, last year it was a struggle. All right. We did not have a lot of races. And for whatever reason, part of that's probably me. Part of that's probably because it was kind of a last second deal, but what we had. And I thought the racing was fantastic. But definitely looking to see, now I feel like it's just going to get ramped up because, we're not just going to Kokopah. We're going to start this year at Central Arizona Raceway. We're going to Mojave. We're going to Sholo. And I know he definitely wants to defend that and, prove like, hey, just because last year was kind of a fluky year doesn't mean that my championship was a fluke. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Logan does this year. I mean, him and Tuesday have a great wrench on their car with Billy Chester, who, I used to announce races 10 years ago, and I still feel like he could get in the car and go out there and win. But, he's wrenching for those guys right now, which is, heck of a hand to have on you. And also they get a lot of love and support from Charles Davis Jr., who, out here in Arizona, I think even across the country is, he's a name.
Yeah.
And to have those guys kind of mentor you is huge for the Calderwoods.
And I know that you guys got a great presence online on Facebook and as well as on the World Wide Web. What are the best locations to find like the latest news? Maybe there's a schedule update, weather updates, point standings, anything of that nature.
Yeah, I would just keep going to our Facebook page at ASCS-Southwest region, and you'll see all the stuff gets posted, nightly when the race starts. I've kind of slacked on it a little bit throughout the week because, I got the day job taken over. But as soon as race day hits, I'll get posted on that and, share, the top 3 guys from the night before, give some points updates and whatnot. But so just bear with me if it's slack because, got the day job and I got kids. I still got my son right now has been yelling at me for the last 10 minutes. So.
Yeah. Hey, I know what that's all about. It's like sometimes a parrot is living in your house all the time. So,
right.
Or a baby goat,
Well, let's hope it's not a parrot with the things coming out of my mouth. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Always listening and always sponging off of words that are bouncing off the walls. But hey, it's been great catching up with you, Jason. I wish you the best of luck this weekend. I'll definitely be tuning in and watching and following the series as best I can all year long, and maybe check in with you a couple of times throughout the year as well.
Heck yeah, man. Sounds good. And if anybody's out there, I still am an announcer for hire. All right. Just so everybody knows. All right. I haven't hung up the mic for good.
Sure. Awesome. Well, great talking to you and best of luck.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.